Hey, I'm Dakota. Welcome to Peak State Fit. In this video, we're going to cover basic bike maintenance. Let's start with a pre-ride checklist. There are a handful of things to double check before each ride. Are your tires at the correct pressure? Is your chain ready to ride? Are your brakes functioning properly? And does everything feel tight? Let's start with air pressure. Air pressure is dependent on tire, rim, terrain, and preference. For most road bikes running a tubeless setup, your tire pressure should be between 60 and 80 psi. This will provide the best feel on the bike while also being the most efficient. If you have tubes in your tires, I would recommend a higher pressure, somewhere between 80 and 90 psi to avoid pinch flats. Gravel bikes can range from 40 to 80 psi depending on the tire width. The lower the pressure, the more traction you will likely have. For mountain bikes, I recommend running between 20 and 40 psi for tubeless and tires with tubes around 35 to 45 psi. If you're unsure what pressure you can run, check the sidewalls of your tires to see the minimum and maximum tire pressures and go from there. Make sure to double check your tire pressure before each ride to ensure the safest and most comfortable ride. Next, make sure your chain is properly waxed or lubed. If you're not sure if you should wax or lube your chain, I would recommend lubing your chain as it is easier to maintain. For lubed chains, start by using a towel and running your chain through it to clean off any dirt and debris. Once the chain is clean, apply a drop of chain lube to each roller pin and let it sit for 2 to 3 minutes. After applying the chain lube and letting it soak into the roller pins, use a clean towel to wipe away any extra lube. Excess lube will only collect more dirt. If you plan on waxing your chain, there is a separate video for that. Last is a safety check. Confirm your brakes are functioning properly by squeezing each brake and ensuring there is proper pad contact. Then check that everything feels tight and enjoy your ride. After your ride, it is important to properly clean and store your bike. This is where 50% of all bicycle repairs come from. Leaving your bike dirty and/or wet after a long ride will degrade components and cause issues on your next ride. There are 2 methods of cleaning your bike. One is by washing your bike off with bike cleaner and a hose, and the second is by hand. To each their own. Either way, make sure to clean off as much dirt and grime as possible. Try to avoid getting anything that isn't explicitly brake surface safe on the rotors or pads. Make sure to thoroughly dry your bike and re-lube your chain to avoid any rusting. Let's review how to remove and install both front and rear wheels. For through-axle bikes, use a wrench to remove the axle, then gently remove the wheel from the frame. For rear wheels, make sure to shift the chain to the smallest cog in the cassette, release the clutch, then repeat the wheel removal steps. To reinstall the wheels, make sure to line up the rotors with the brake slots and bolt the axle back into place. You can pull back on the rear derailleur to help line up the rear wheel. Make sure the axle is tight, but not too tight. Don't make it impossible to remove. For quick release bikes, pull back on the lever. Skewer style quick release may require you to loosen the axle nut, then carefully remove the wheel from the frame. To reinstall the wheel, make sure that the wheel is all the way into the dropout. Adjust the quick release so that the lever starts to catch at 90 degrees from the frame, then clamp shut. Check that the wheel is in the frame straight and everything is tight. It is good practice to routinely check your brake pads. To do so only takes a few seconds. For disc brakes, look down at your caliper and verify that the pad is not at or below the level of the pad spring. If your pads are at or below this level, you run the risk of brake failure and damage to your rotors. For rim brakes, check your wear indicator mark. Replace your pads if they are at or below this mark, as well as if they have worn uneven or at an angle. A common mistake riders make are putting the wrong pedal on the wrong side of the bike or over-tightening the non-drive side pedal. Here is an easy way to remember which way your pedal should turn. With your bike upright and your wrench at 12 o'clock, the pedal will tighten if you rotate to the front of the bike and loosen if you rotate to the back of the bike. Never do this with the bike upside down. Let's just say it'll never go well. While routine basic maintenance will help extend the life of your bike and components, a proper tune at or around 50 hours of riding will help dramatically. If you are unsure if a component is safe to ride, visit our website, peakstatefit.com, or visit the link below to schedule an appointment to have your bike serviced. Thank you for watching.